Welcome to EDC Journeys. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Enjoy. What is going on, EDC people? And what is our journey this time? Last video I did my top 5 flippers that are in my collection, and now I want to do my top 5 traditionals in my collection, or at least modern traditional slip joints. Okay, and let's just jump right into it with number 5. It's a Rough Rider, the Backwoods Bushcraft Barlow. I love Barlows. There is a Boker Barlow that I'm really looking to try to maybe get pretty relatively in the next couple knives, hopefully, maybe. I know Patty from Patty's Potato Peelers has it, and I really like it. I got to look into the model and see how much it is and maybe save up for it. I'll definitely save up for it, but we'll see depending on the cost when that is. But the Backwoods Bushcraft Barlow is from Rough Rider, so it's a good price. What, $14? I love the saw cut bone. I think it's amber saw cut. It's got copper liners. Its overall fit and finish for a Rough Rider is fairly good. The copper bolster for on the Barlow is patinaing. Is that a word? Patinaing? Like crazy. I mean, it was bright copper when it came, and it hasn't been that long that I've had it. It's been a while, but not that long. So I guess I've handled it quite a bit because that is some serious patina in such a short time. It has a clip point for the main blade. It's 420 or 440, I'm sorry, steel. And then it's got a little pen blade as well. Very snappy. Again, the fit and finish for a Rough Rider is really nice. So I really quite enjoy this knife. Is it perfectly centered? It's not far off. I mean, you can tell they kind of favor that side, but they're not touching, and they each have a spring. So yeah, it's pretty nice. There's no real steps or gaps in between. There's no noticeable gaps in between the springs on this guy. It's real bone, copper pins, and the only thing I don't like really about it is the little underline under the R, because it kind of looks like a T, and I have no idea what RT would be. At least the R I understand. It could even be my first initial, technically. My name is Bob. Technically it's Robert. So, anyways, so the Backwoods Bushcraft Barlow makes number 5. Sorry, there's an F-35 going over my head right now. Number 4. And this order not only might surprise you, it's kind of surprising me, and it's definitely arguable to switch around a little bit. But number 4 is the Rough Rider. I'm going to see a continuing theme here because that's a lot of my price range. The Rough Rider Denim Micarta Work Knife. It says on the tang Rough Rider. I guess that's it. I thought it said the model number on the other side, but it doesn't. I could have sworn it said it. Anyways, it's the Denim Micarta Work Knife. It has brass liners, one spring for one what am I trying to say? Wharncliffe blade. I have used this pretty extensively actually since I got it. It's not even that old, but you can tell it's got some wear. Look at the scratching on the bolster. Overall fit and finish on this guy is, again, for a Rough Rider, really pretty good. No real gaps to speak of on the back. The only thing that I've ever noticed is, let me put my cloth down and zoom in a little bit here. You can see the gaps in between the bolster and the micarta. Wow, I'm really shaky. Too much coffee today. But otherwise, I'm again impressed with the Rough Rider. You kind of at that price point, you kind of expect some finish issues, but this and that Barlow really surprised me with how nice they are for a Rough Rider even. But I love the sway back handle. I love the Wharncliffe blade, and it's a great knife. I did a lot of work with it when I tested it. Okay, let's just keep on going. Number 3. Here's where the lineup might be a little bit confusing and arguably wrong, but I'll explain why as I go. Number 3, the Lion Steel. And obviously I'm saying slip joints, so I'm including modern traditionals, hence what you see. The Lion Steel Italian made Bowler M390 Bestman 1 with carbon fiber inlays and titanium bolsters. A great looking, it's technically a clip point, I believe, if I recall. All of these have had reviews also, so if you want more information on any one particular knife, you can go to my channel or just search EDC Journeys and the name of this knife. Yeah, so M390, fairly new, modern, traditional. I go into detail, obviously, in the review about what my likes and dislikes are about it. But overall, I love this knife. It's great. I love all these knives. That's why they're in the top 5. Now, here's where you're going to be like, what? Here's number 2. We're back to Rough Rider again. T10 carbon. It's the Rough Rider Heavy Forge Stockman. The reason why it's not, well, let me keep going and then I'll explain after. It's carbon steel made in T10 carbon, which from what I understand it's an interesting carbon steel. It's mostly used for swords. I don't know much more about it than that, other than that it's over 1% carbon, as opposed to like 1095, which is 90 or 0.95 carbon. I don't know much about the other elementals, so I can't speak to if it's better or worse than things, but that's what I know about this particular carbon. Now, why is this so high on the list, or low on the list, depending on how you look at it? High on the list. Well, no, it's modern. I mean, not modern in the sense that it's new, but it represents an old style knife, a Stockman, in carbon steel, an old, kind of an old, in theory, steel, meaning carbon. This is what they would have probably used, maybe not T10, but back in the day they would have had a carbon steel knife. So to me, this just represents tradition. Now, going back to the Rough Rider fit and finish, this one is probably the least good quality out of the 3 that are in the list, meaning that there is a gap here. There's maybe something touched here when the bone was being dyed, or it just didn't take right there. But the shield doesn't lay in fully, which I don't think any Rough Rider shields actually are flush with the bone. So there are some issues with it, and there are more fit and finish issues with it than there are with the denim work knife or the Barlow. However, because it's carbon, and because it's a Stockman, a real traditional style, I like it. Now, the blades are in a different order than a typical Stockman. I can't honestly remember it right now off the top of my head which way they went, but I know that, well, first of all, this has 3 springs, where a normal Stockman, traditional Stockman had 2 springs. They do usually have 3 blades, but 2 springs. And then I think the layout of I think it's the sheep foot. Yeah. Okay, so I believe the clip point and the sheep's foot come out of the same side on a normal Stockman, and then the spay blade, or whatever you want to call it, comes out of the other side. But on this one, it's kind of reversed. I don't really know why, and I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. I have all 3 of the blades: the spay blade, the razor blade, or sheep's foot if you want to call it that, and the clip blade. Again, carbon steel. So this is more of a representation to me than it is. That's why it's truly number 2. It represents to me a more historical piece. If the Barlow were in carbon, I would swap these, because I do prefer, you know, like old-fashioned traditional Barlows, but it's something about it being in carbon steel that makes it kind of special to me. I think it makes me feel like it's despite it being a new knife, it's an older style. If that makes any sense to anyone besides me. Okay, and then number 1. Well, before I say number 1, I do have another one sitting right here, and that is the channel mascot. So I didn't include it as a possibility. It was disqualified from the list because of what it is. It's in nearly every video. I try to get it in every video. The clover is kind of my thing, and I love the file work on the back, if you can see it. So I try to prop it up in every video to be seen. So I don't count that on the list. I do love the knife, and love how I got it, and yeah. So anyways, so coming in at number 1, and this probably is no surprise to any of my continuous viewers, is the PMP User. This is a numbered knife. It is still a slip joint, but it's a modern slip joint. Let me put my little rag down again. It is, once again, Bowler M390. It's a very thin blade. Again, I do have a review of this not even that long ago. True carbon fiber down to titanium scales, titanium bolster, titanium hardware, beautifully rounded back, spring clip. It's got a clip on it because of the size. What else do I want to tell you? It's I already told you it's M390. It's the PMP User. Oh, it's made by Max Ace for PMP. The model is the User, and it's numbered. There are only 200 of these knives, I guess, that exist. And this one, if you take this scale off, you can see in the review I showed the picture. It's number 128 of 200. So it's really special to me. I love the design. It's a great knife. I could use this for EDC. Really, I could. Like I mentioned in the review, the only concern I would ever have is just that the blade is so thin that maybe some heavy-duty tasks would be difficult, or not difficult, but I wouldn't want to hurt the blade because it's so thin. But it is M390 as well, so bear that in mind. So this is definitely number 1 out of the collection that I have right now. This is all subject to change as I get new slip joints in my collection. Just like in the top 5 flipper video, I'm going to show you Mary's pick, Mary, my daughter, because I try to bring her into my channel as much as possible. And Mary's favorite slip joint is this one. It's, I think, gotten from a hardware store, if I remember the story correctly, when it was given to me. The name on it is True, and it's labeled as, it's upside down, but it's 8CR13 MOV, and I'm imagining that that's model HL19J. Not sure. But she names all of her knives have names, and this one is Woody. I like it. I mean, nothing wrong with it. Finish is nice, beautiful, no gaps in the back. I like how it has kind of like a Mandalorian Star Wars looking logo on it. So while it's not on my top 5 list, it would certainly be on Mary's, and so that is her choice. That is her favorite. I always try to bring her into the channel. So that's the top 5 plus the mascot plus Mary's. So is it 7? No, Well, yes, but no. It's these ones that I'm counting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I know that this is kind of surprising. It's very clear that this could easily go like this. Okay, because, you know, not just for materials alone, but you have to think about what this represents to me more than what it actually is. Okay? This represents to me, like I was saying, the more traditional knife because of the carbon and the Stockman. And if the and again, my favorite traditional style or handle pattern is the Barlow. So eventually it's subject to change. Again, there's one in particular, a Boker. You know, it's kind of dark in color. It's wood, dark wood, and it has the Boker tree logo on it. I have to find out the model because it's got to be one of the. Even though I'm not near purchasing another knife right now because, well, whatever, that's another story. But eventually, that would be one of my top ones to get for a slip joint. Is that Boker Barlow. But meanwhile, here's the list. Now, like all of them, could I switch this one for this one? Yeah, probably. Or this one for this one? Yeah. Or this one for this one? No. This one's solidly in number 1 for me. And the rest of these are solidly in the top 5, but can be arguable. Because of the materials, this one is higher on the list. Anyways, I think you get the picture. So what do you guys think? What do you think of my top 5 collection? What do you think of my number 1 choice? Would you choose something different out of these? What would your number 1 choice be if not this? And, or, if you don't want to do that, what's your favorite traditional that you have? Or that you want, even. I don't care. Just give me some comments down below. I love talking with you guys. I love talking about knives. That's all this is about. I just like knives. So let's talk about them. What's your favorite slip joint? Which one do you wish you had? Which one should I have made number 1 if you don't agree with me? Is it not right because this one's a modern one that it shouldn't have been number 1? It should have been something more traditional. Let me know. Alright guys. Have a great day. Thumbs up on the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm trying to grow the channel, so maybe share if you can. I love you all. Thank you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up. And for more content like this, consider subscribing and then hit that notification bell so that you don't miss anything. Have a great day.